Welcome back, everybody, to the Masterclass, episode 4. Number 4 already, Joshua.
You'd
It's good to
think
see
that
you,
by
my
now
friend.
we'd have something built, but we don't.
We're getting there. We're getting there slowly adding to the jewelry of the plane, so to
Indeed.
speak. So,
Indeed.
if you guys missed last week, the professor here showed us a really cool new covering that you're going to see tonight. It is super reflective. It's you held up a test sheet earlier before we started, and I was like, I could see your camera in the background, your computer, and I was like, okay, yeah, that definitely reflects. But drop in the comments, guys and gals, where you're tuning in from. We always love to see where everybody is watching from. I see we got West Virginia in here already. We got almost Thanksgiving greetings from David,
That's a weird place.
Lancaster, PA. Darren Suter is in the chat. How you doing, Darren? He's in West Virginia as well.
Nice.
Daytona Beach. It's always good to see where everybody's watching from. So be sure to drop that in the chat. We love seeing you guys. RJ, I emailed back and forth with him this morning. It's good to see you here.
Nice.
So we got him some parts.
Oh, good.
We're
Good.
gonna make some ball links work again. Making ball links great again. That's what we're doing. So obviously, you guys saw the title and the description of the show this evening. We're gonna have a riveting good time.
We are.
Mr. Orchard has been working on some really cool things, and I will let you take it away, my friend.
Thank you very much, I think. So tonight, I want to start by just sort of giving a recap of stuff we went over last week, which was this reflective vinyl covering. And with that comes a lot of buildup with the substrate, making sure that your foundation is laid, you've got fiberglass down, and that you lay it down effectively, efficiently, with as few wrinkles as you possibly can muster. There's a lot of finesse involved in trying something new like this, so don't be afraid to fail. Genuinely, like, don't be afraid to fail, because you learn what not to do, and you can be frustrated with yourself pretty easily if you're expecting perfection the first time every time. It's not going to happen. So with that, I wanted to just show you what I'm like, a little peek behind the curtain, what I do in my shop, I guess. It's nothing
Joshua,
super. What?
I hate to cut you off, but
What's up?
there are 2 streams on YouTube tonight.
Oh
There's a
yeah.
new feature. So I see David is saying that he's only seen 8th. You can either watch the full screen version, or if you're watching on a smartphone, that's the smaller version. The smaller version has a little cell phone in the description. So that's the way to decipher between the two. Sorry, I meant to mention that
No,
before we
that's
started.
fine.
So,
That's fine.
sorry, guys. Go ahead. Sorry, Joshua.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. Little specifics like that are important, because this is just as much a visual show as it is an audio show.
Right.
And if the screen is cut off a little bit and that's annoying to you, then I'm sorry. Blame the YouTube people. All right, so I'm just going to show you this. This is a peek behind the scenes. This is just a piece of scrap foam board that I had in my shop, and I put a piece of the vinyl on it, laid it just like I normally would. So the finish isn't the same as what's on the model, because obviously the foam is soft, so it's much more wrinkly. But you can see that one side, there's a seam down the middle, and you can see the camera and my back, the light behind it, right? But you can also see there's my laptop screen, right? And there's an airplane right there, my bumblebee. So really what I want to show you is with this seam, this looks different than this side. And the reason is I talked last week about the sealing. And so the haze that you're seeing around the outside is a clear coat that I applied. It's a 1K clear coat. And this seam in the middle designates where over here I used an adhesion promoter. Per the instructions, it's called Plastic Magic. And then over here, I did not. I just shot the clear coat straight on. And I let that all cure out. And I think it's worth noting that there is this slight haze with the adhesion promoter. Now, if you're going to be using the technique where you're making the grain in the metal, like using your Scotch-Brite pad, it's probably not going to make that much of a difference in terms of this haze, but because we're using a highly reflective surface, you can see that haze much more apparently. I'll even get real close, and you can still see it. And to me, it looks kind of milky. And even in the sunshine, the milkiness is still kind of there. And this has had, at this point, 72 hours of cure time. It is not tacky at all. It doesn't feel soft, it feels hard. So that's what it's going to look like, and I really don't care for it. So I'm going to be experimental, and I'm going to shoot just a straight clear coat on this, see how it goes. I'm willing to take that risk because I prefer that look. If I have any additional problems, we'll address that down the road. So that is number one. So with that in mind, tonight we're talking about rivets. You don't have to, but I guess by a raise of hand, who's done rivets on their model before? I have. I have. A lot of people call me crazy because I love doing rivets on my models. For me, it's kind of like therapy because I get into a groove and it becomes like therapy for me. You do a row of rivets and it just looks fantastic. And it's like reward to keep going. Um, it's so this is a variation on a theme. So we're doing pop rivets. We're doing pop rivets because the Ryan PT22 used pop rivets. Traditionally, pop rivets are applied on a model that's going to be painted, and so you're going to be using something like Titebond, which is an aliphatic glue. And the way most people do is they put a little blob of it on like a scrap piece of something or other, and then they just have that and they use a toothpick and a toothpick dot, or even a dowel for larger round spots. Excuse me, we're going to be doing a variation on that tonight, but we won't be using glue. Since we can't paint this per se, we will be using something that I think will work just as well. Again, this is a plastic surface, and so we need something that will stick. It will adhere to this plastic surface more on a chemical level rather than on a physical level. And the way that we're going to do that is with this. This is a UV cure resin. So rather than using glue, we're using a resin, and the way that we cure that is with a UV light. And we've got links to both of these products. They're just straight literally off of Amazon. They don't cost that much money. And this resin will, if you're just using rivets for it, it will last a very, very long time. The other thing you can use it for is you can cure this out for like instrument lens covers. So if you want to make like a glass surface or even like goggles for a pilot. Now you can also use the Rocket UV from Deluxe Materials. This is really great stuff, but it is very thick. It's very viscous, and so for this particular application, I didn't much care for it, but certainly for goggles or for lenses as well, if you need to control the fluidity of it, then you need to definitely consider this because it is a thicker material and it does cure in just a few seconds as well.
I just put
Um,
those Amazon links in the chat for
awesome,
the light and the resin.
awesome. Okay, so other couple of things, a couple of tools. I do highly recommend that you use a ruler for measuring where the lines are going to be placed. We'll get into that in a minute. Other thing that you're going to possibly consider is a vinyl tape measure. So I have this. This is like what you would use for garment construction. You can probably get it at your local craft store, also on Amazon. There should be an Amazon link for that as well, Brian.
It's in the chat.
Yeah, and then the other thing is these are kind of cool. My daughter introduced these to me back in 2017, 2018 when I was doing my other aluminum project, not this vinyl project, but so these are watercolor tip markers. And I'll show you how these work, but the tip is very, very soft. It's like kind of ridiculous. I'll try to demonstrate how soft this is. But like that whole tip is just a whole bunch of fibers. And that is so that we don't create a crease or scratches in the surface. We want to leave a mark so that we have a guide for where to put these rivet lines, but we also need ink that can easily wipe off. And this stuff just wipes clean off with window cleaner. Easy peasy. It's also nice because you're going to be getting it on like your vinyl tape as you lay it down, and you can just easily wipe it off of that as well. The last thing that is kind of special that you're going to need, that's not like standard shop supplies, is this nail gel powder. Okay, so this is ask your wife about this stuff, I guess. So this is a metallic powder that they use to put in UV cure resin for fingernails. Okay, so the reason that you need this is because you can apply just these little tiny drops of the UV resin, but it kind of looks like drops of water. And so we have to add some kind of substrate to it. And we don't want it to necessarily, again, be bass boat looking, but we can regulate that by how much we're adding to the resin as we go. You want just a tiny little bit. Doesn't have to be a whole lot. I'll show you how to manage it. It's not that difficult. All right, so other things that you'll want, like masking tape. I've got cardstock, little bits of cardstock, obviously the ruler. Let's see, oh, your PPE, and I will don my PPE only if Brian promises not to make this a meme like the Mr. Clean bit.
No promises.
No problem. I knew I'm going to regret this, but we have to have PPE. So my sunglasses,
Oh, yeah.
these are my prescription sunglasses that I have because in my shop I am dealing with a UV light. Okay, so I have to protect my eyes because I will be using this for multiples of seconds, and this is a very reflective surface. Duh. Use PPE. Okay. So let's begin. Now that we have all of our tools, we have a basic understanding of the methodology. So let's go through some of this. I'm going to angle my camera down at this point, and I'm going to show you like essentially what we are resulting in. So these are rivet lines that I have already done, and even getting up close with them, even though the camera is kind of blurry because of the reflective surface, You can see that they look pretty solid. They don't look like little drops of dew, and that again is because the nail powder is in this resin. And so that's what we're going for. And this is just along the seam, the panel line that we've got, the seam in the actual covering material. Those are your basic panel lines. And so I've riveted all of those all over the whole plane. So what you also see are panel lines, or at least references for panel lines, but they're not panel lines. These are rivet reference lines. So I've gone through and used reference material. I sent Brian some pictures that I took off the interweb. These are from the United States Air Force Museum in Dayton, Ohio, where they have a Ryan PT-22. And it's always important to have references. We're not going for super ultra hyper scale, but you do want to get it semi-accurate, and that way you can get some of the regularity as well as irregularity. From the pictures, as you examine them, you learn patterns and you see different things, and you can understand what you can do, what you can replicate just by modifying your technique ever so slightly. All right, so with those references, you can take a look at how I've drawn out this panel line, or sorry, rivet line, apologies. I've got this line as well as this line and a bunch of other lines over here. Right now I'm going to focus on this area because I want to show you how I draw these lines. I'm going to try my best to angle this so that this isn't reflecting too terrible. But really the best way that I find is either use a piece of cardstock as a straight edge, mostly because the cardstock will absorb any excess. So just to demonstrate that, there's a panel line that goes on the outside of each one of these lines. Sorry, rivet line, goodness. I was doing panel lines last week. So then you lay down your piece of cardstock and you just slowly draw your rivet line where it needs to be. And then any excess ink is absorbed by the edge of the cardstock. And then that way you don't have to clean it up. So like the shorter lines, that's what the cardstock is great for. But sometimes the cardstock isn't long enough, and that is why we have the vinyl garment construction tape. So for this, again, you're just using 2 pieces of masking tape. I like to fold over one end so that I can peel it back up. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to find where this panel line needs to be, position it, mark it, and then with these tabs, the fold over tabs, makes it a lot easier to pull it back up. And again, pull gently because you don't want to pull so aggressively that you're making bubbles underneath of this. Okay? Gentle, gentle, gentle. All right, so that's how you make your reference lines, and I'll show you how to remove them. It's really stupid simple. But I'll show you that after I've applied some of these rivet lines, or some of these rivets. Get myself organized. So I'm going to try to focus you over here a little bit more. So this is my work surface. Rather than using a toothpick, I have an awl that is used for poking things, and so I'm going to be using this to apply each one of the rivet marks. So this is just a scrap piece of the backing from the vinyl, mostly because it doesn't want to, nothing really wants to stick to this, so it's easy cleanup. So I'm going to open this powder, And I'm just going to stick the tip of the awl in my little blob of resin, and then I'm just going to stick it in the powder, and it picks up a little bit of powder, and then I'm just going to mix that in. And that's all you need. You just need a little bit of something to give it a little bit of substance and not make it perfectly clear, but you want it still to be reflective. All right, so with that ready to go, we're gonna position you over here. And I'm gonna focus on this line, this vertical line. And so I have a bunch of this material, this resin on my awl, and I'm just going to press it to the surface, and you can pick up a rhythm, and you can feel how this material flows as you practice. And usually I get about 4 or 5 rivets per reload. It's kind of like using a fountain pen.
I just want to bring to your attention, after you put those glasses on earlier, the Top Gun comments came out of the
Oh,
wood.
are you kidding me? Oh my
Oh no.
gosh.
RC Barnes said, "Easy there, Maverick." Dynamic RC, this is the best one yet. He's in the danger zone. RC Barnes got the Top Gun theme song stuck in his head. PJ came through with a clutch one as well. You could be his wingman anytime.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And then David is asking if you're available to build his next scale model.
Take a number. No, it's funny that you mentioned that. So on the back of my trailer, do you remember what's on the back of my trailer, Brian?
Oh, I don't off the top of my head. I'm trying to picture it right now.
Because I was inverted.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I've got a vinyl lettering that just says "because I was inverted," and then there's a silhouette of an F-14. All right, so I've got that entire line done at this point. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to bust out the UV. And so I have to don my PPE. And really all you're going to do is you're going to shine it at one end and slowly drag it across. It really only needs a few seconds to cure. And I chose this light specifically because it's a little bit higher wattage of LED, and so therefore you're getting a little bit more light output to help speed the cure along. And then once you're done, you can feel how tacky it is or it isn't, and whether or not you need to go over for one more pass.
Do you want to describe the chrome material again? RC
Sure.
Flyer is in the chat asking. I'm going to look.
That's fine. That's fine. It's called HTV RONT. It's adhesive vinyl. Covered it in the last masterclass. Feel free to go through and re-watch or watch that one. We've got a link in that video to get this off of Amazon, but that's all it is.
I'm looking for that link right now.
That's perfect. Making yourself useful. All right, so now that that line is done, we're going to go along here and start this line. And note that I am not actually leaving these rivets on the ink. And the reason for that is I don't want the ink to show through because we want the reflective surface. So when I make my lines, I know that I am going to be going next to the line when I make my rivets. Like I said, sometimes this is just therapy for me. I'll come down, put on some music, and even half an hour of work, it's just instant gratification to see these rivet lines bring the model to life, like genuinely bring this model to life. Any questions so far?
Are you pressing all into the vinyl or just dropping a drop in place?
That's a good question. It happens kind of quickly, so I'll try to explain. So I am actually touching the vinyl, but like I said, it's like you're using the resin as an ink. It flows off of the tip, and so you're touching and waiting for it to flow and then removing. But I'm not pressing it per se into the vinyl, but I do have to touch the surface in order to get it to flow. And it's sort of like you have to learn how to vary the amount of time that you hold on the surface to allow the same volume of resin to flow onto the surface. Now, you can
Dave
also
is
go
asking.
ahead.
Sorry, Dave is asking. Now I'm wondering where the rivet line should go on the Great Plains PT40 he's building right now.
Yeah, that comes down to your reference materials. And that's why some people, when they go to do a more scale model, they complain about scale profile because a lot of models that are produced do not have true scale profiles. They are off a little bit here and there in their proportions. And so the scale guys will end up complaining about models as they come out when initially you thought, oh, it looks great, it looks just like it. But to the scale guys, we're just a little less than impressed. Oh, I'm done that line.
Here's another great question from Ryan Elliott. He said, in the case of a mistake, is there any way to remove the resin dot prior
Oh,
to
sure.
curing it?
Yeah. That's part of the beauty of it. Absolutely. You can wipe it clean off. Uh, you can use a paper towel and some isopropyl alcohol and it will come right off the surface. And so that's why like you pace yourself. You don't like get too much of a hurry because you can easily just pull that right off if it's right at the end of a row, do a little correction on your rivet line with your watercolor marker, and then just keep going.
Dave said the PT40 is a 40 size trainer. Scale guys will not be impressed.
Oh, the PT40. I was thinking P40, like a P40 Warhawk, a PT40 trainer. Yeah, sure. You could just be super creative and put them wherever you want. That would be a great way to do a study and work out your technique for this particular kind of detail. So I was about to say, before we had the question, that if you want to absolutely go crazy with this, you can certainly do your research and find out what size rivets that the full scale version used, and then play around with your technique to get the right size rivet mark. And also do your research on what the exact scale size spacing between the rivets should be. You guys can see and kind of get the point that this really does not take a tremendous amount of time to get some absolutely phenomenal results. So once this line is cured out, I'll hold it up to the camera so you can see all the work that I've done in the past couple of minutes.
Ryan says, "Don't lose that love and feeling."
That's a
Darren
good one
Suter
too.
said, "Take my breath away."
Now, are
Uh,
you a Top Gun or a Top Gun Maverick fan? Put that in the chat.
David said, "Joshua is working fast. He feels the need for
The need for
speed."
speed. All right. So those 4 lines, that's what I've done in those past couple of minutes. So now we get ourselves a paper towel and some generic window cleaner. Doesn't need to be much. And this just wipes right away. Like easy peasy. And it's all on the paper towel.
PJ said, "Goodness gracious, great balls of fire."
Indeed. Indeed. So there are more rivets that I need to apply in this area. What I'll point out is that I'm still on my same blob of rivets. But on this particular line of rivets, that the rivets are a little bit alternating, and you can go absolutely crazy to get that alternating pattern if you wish. Takes a little bit more care, but can certainly be worth the effort to do so. Get that effect where it very much looks intentional from a factory. And so these are the little levels of detail, the layers of complexity that we've talked about in past classes, where it's really the sky is literally the limit on how far, how deep, how crazy you want to go with your model. Because this stuff can drive you crazy, or it can make you crazy, but I love doing it. I love giving just that little extra bit of character, show that little bit of extra love, especially for those who served and used these machines. Again, the technique is the same if you're going to use this on a painted model, but you'd be using drops of glue. The disadvantage is you don't have the luxury of being able to instantly cure the glue. So if you want to change and stop using glue and start using this UV resin, You certainly can, because it'll accomplish the exact same effect. Cool. So that's it. That's it. That's really everything that I have prepared for tonight.
Wait. You got to put those back on.
Do I?
Yes, please.
Do I?
Please.
Oh gosh.
We could only play 3 seconds, otherwise
Yeah, we'll get demonetized.
they'll flag us. You're welcome, everybody.
Now, the last little thing that I will note is cleanup. And that's, again, part of the beautiful thing. I'm not using a reflective surface here, so that's why I feel comfortable doing it. So just take a couple of seconds, and your little blob that you've got left over and you want to clean it up, you can simply wipe it up with a paper towel, or you can cure it and then just peel it off. And that's it. That's what's left of the little blob. And then you pick it up and you throw it in the garbage can, and then you don't have to worry about it anymore. Um, so that's the application. You just rinse, repeat, ad nauseum, as it were. Um, it's I have put out a YouTube video yesterday on this technique, so feel free to reference that. It's not in as much detail as I've covered tonight, mostly because we have the time. YouTube pre-recorded format, it doesn't really lend itself well to going into techniques like this in super high levels of detail. Like I can do an instructional video about it, but I can't really answer questions about it or things like that. So feel free to review that. And yeah, it's literally just if you've got 10 minutes here, 20 minutes there. This is a great way to manage your time, continue to maintain momentum on a build project while adding detail and really bringing your model to life. I'm telling you, like even a week, just spending a week of, 10, 15 minutes here and there, come home from work, unwind a little bit, do 1 or 2 lines of rivets. After dinner, go and do a couple of more lines. And I'm telling you, if you do that and you maximize your time and just focus, you will get a bit of relief. It doesn't have to be frustrating because focus on consistency and eventually the skill will come. I didn't start with it. I had to remind myself how to do this technique because it's been a while. But it really is more like therapy than you might think. I forget about being a dad. I forget about being a husband. I forget about work responsibilities, church responsibilities, DU-BRO responsibilities. No, it really is a good quality way to spend time in your shop, and the results I think speak for themselves. Any other questions show up?
The QR code in the top left corner will take you to Joshua's
Oh, thank
YouTube
you.
channel. Great rivet application technique. That's a tongue twister.
You're very welcome.
Dave says he's watched a lot of your videos. Great information.
That's what I'm going for.
So I think you briefly touched on this. Can you manage the size of rivet by using a sharper or blunter all pen instrument?
Yes, absolutely. Let me, I've got this. Yes. So let's, as a big fat for instance, I have a piece of dowel. Let's angle it down. Let's go back to our workspace over here. All right. So Let's get some more resin. And using this dowel as opposed to the pinpoint, okay? So I can dip, and then again, it's the same thing. And then obviously, since you're using more volume, you have to be mindful of how many times you can do it and how hard to press in order to get consistency. So let me cure these. I'll just cure all of them, that's fine. The other cool thing about this is if you work it out, what you can do is hit this for a couple of seconds and it gets soft, right? So then you can go back and I'll just use the tip of the awl and I'm going to create a line. See, that one was too cured out. But in this last one, probably because I had less exposure time to the light, you can actually create like screw heads. It's probably extremely difficult to see. Let me try coloring it with one of these watercolor markers. Might show up a little bit better. So you can slightly see how this looks like a flathead screwdriver, like that kind of head. So you can do that kind of technique with this. Again, you have to work out your own technique, especially in terms of the volume. The more volume of this stuff, the more time you have to give for it to cure. And that's why we can get away with just a couple of seconds on these little rivets, and these a little bit more had to be applied. But yeah, that's the kind of thing you can do with the larger blunter instruments, is like screw heads or even Zeus fasteners, things like that. You can easily use with this same kind of thing.
David said, awesome.
It is awesome. It's always awesome to learn new things, and that is what I love to do. I love to learn new things, and why I started this conversation saying, don't be afraid to fail, because you learn something. When you learn something, it's way more fun than if you hadn't learned something. So just don't be afraid to fail, guys. Again, use a study. You're going to have scraps of this stuff left over. And again, you're not looking for a perfect surface. So, get something cheap like a piece of foam board, a piece of scrap leftover balsa. It doesn't have to be a perfect finish. You're just looking for the same material, and then apply and learn to do it consistently and perfect your technique. And then you can go on to the model. Okay? And again, you can fix it. You can fix it. This stuff, I should bring up, so I'm applying this before putting on the clear coat, because it will come off. Like, you can pick it off once it's cured. You have to be a little bit aggressive about it, but it will pick off. So if there's something like you don't like or something like that, you can pick it off and try to repair it. But just keep in mind that it might leave some sort of scar on the finish, because it is a pretty tight bond. But I plan on going over the entire thing with clear coat once I'm done, so the clear coat should help prevent those from being picked or flicked off through the life of the model.
Ryan is asking, do you think the resin will adequately adhere to monocoat?
I do. But I think obviously you should do your homework on that. Not all plastic coverings are created equal, and I covered that as well previously. So again, do a study and try. See if it will work. You may need something that's a little bit more viscous, and so again, the Rocket UV, wherever I put it. Oh, there it is. the Rocket UV may be an option that may work better for you in that application. They do make thinner versions of this resin. I chose clear hard type, but yeah, do your homework. There are different viscosities that do different things. Because I'm working on curved surfaces, I didn't want to go too thin because then it might start dripping and look a little sad. We don't want sad rivets. We want pop rivets. What else? Brian, do you have any questions? You can say no.
How is it in the danger zone? No, I don't.
It's fine because I'm wearing my PPE when I do stuff.
Uh, no, I just wanted to bring up a couple things. November build sale is going on right
Yeah.
now at DU-BRO. Save 20% off your order of $50 or more. The promo code is all caps BLD26. So build 26.
Why 26?
Joshua, I can't give you all my secrets.
That's a danger zone right there. Okay.
And then also next show is December 1st and then December 15th. And then we are off for the holidays and then back in January.
Yes.
So just wanted to bring that to everybody's attention. So December 1st, which is 2 weeks from today. And, oh, that's crazy. And then December 15th, which is a month from today. Any other questions? Comments? Top Gun quotes? Mike Ingram is asking, have you tried using a piece of tubing?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I have. Piece of copper tubing I had laying around. Yeah, it does the same thing. So if you want to do, I would call it a simulated flush rivet. You could try, but for the flush rivets this small, I think you'd be better off like using the heat method. The heat method. Do I have it handy? No, I don't. So the heat method is what I usually use for flush rivets. So I have an old Radio Shack soldering iron that I have a piece of copper tube as the tip. And that way I can essentially melt the copper tube into whatever surface. Usually it's primer, but on this application you would want to use like a one of the more fancy, I guess is the word, soldering irons that you can vary the temperature, and you'd want to put it on super, super low, and then try to just gently melt a ring into it. But I mean, if you want to go with that kind of flush rivet style using a tube, if you do it overall the entire airplane, it might be a little too much in my opinion, but you don't have to go based off of my opinion. You can go based off of yours. So it's an option, but you can certainly do it that way. I've seen plenty of people. Chad Veach, he sells flush rivets that are just laser cut pieces of vinyl, and you peel them off a piece of applicator, and it's like you lay down a strip of flush rivets, and you smear them with your finger, and you pull up the backing paper, and you're done. So that's an option too. But yeah, alternately, you can try to take a small tube and twist and just do a little friction into the surface. I've played a little bit around with that on this material. Haven't perfected my technique, but I can see it working if you find one. I would be playing with heat first, just because it is plastic and you can get into a better rhythm if you can avoid a lot of the in-between time, at least for me and my technique and the way that I work. So again, mileage may vary. Vary your technique. Figure out what works for you. These are just ideas I'm throwing out here. I'm not telling you exactly what to do.
Question of the evening. Does Josh identify more as Maverick or Bob in Top Gun Maverick?
Probably Bob. Probably Bob. I'm far more of a nerd than an arrogant, pompous jockey pilot. You know, I think you guys know me well enough by now. I'm bearing my soul here, guys. Come on.
RC Barnes said Bob is cool. He is.
He is cool.
I agree.
He is cool.
We're going to skip PJ's question.
Oh, come on. You wiener.
It's in the other room. It's in my storage room over there. It's doing good. It's doing real good.
Looking sharp.
We'll get there.
I love it. I love how you guys keep Brian humble. You keep me humble. This is great.
Yeah. I was actually thinking about it the other day, but I've been, that's a whole nother story.
Yeah,
but yeah. Thanks, PJ. Joshua, thank you as always, my friend.
Of course.
December 1st, December 15th, next two show dates. Preview for next show?
Haven't decided yet, so no.
Okay. You're going to have to wait and see. Take advantage of the build sale, and that's running for the whole month of November, so you still got some time here. And Black Friday deals launching next week, so get ready for those. I think you guys will be happy with that, and I think that's basically it, my man.
Do you want to do a giveaway real quick?
Yes, let's do it. What are we giving away?
All right. Ryan Aeronautical was founded by someone with the last name of Ryan. What was his first name?
Free set of tires. Your pick.
Ooh, that's a good move.
Mike said good stuff, Mav.
Third scale vintage.
Claude T?
That is correct. Claude Ryan founded the Ryan Aeronautical Company. It was a company, not a corporation. It wasn't incorporated. It was just a company. And fun fact, it was in San Diego. So one of the West Coast companies. There was a lot of development of aircraft and aviation, etc., on the East Coast in a number of places, as well as in right field in the Midwest. But Ryan was one of the few on the West Coast. So thought I would mention that as well. It's pretty cool.
So Ryan says he is actually named after him / the company.
Nice. That's cool. That's cool.
Built the Ryan NYP.
Yep, Ryan NYP. So the Ryan NYP, what people may not know, that's also called the Spirit of St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
People didn't know that it actually had a model designation. NYP, New York to Paris. Yep. Very simple. Anyway.
Like it. Speaking of which, Ryan, shoot me an email, orders@DU-BRO.com. Let me know what size and what style of wheels you want, and I will get those shipped out to you. Mitch said, thanks for another informative video, guys. You are very welcome. I'm just the guy behind the scenes. I just push the buttons.
Yeah, but you're learning too, Brian.
Trust me, you have no idea how much I have learned from this class. It amazes me how much knowledge is stored in those 3 brain cells that are still left there for when there's email or call with questions, and I can actually answer them and be confident in my answer. So, But yeah, if you guys ever have any questions about products, things like that, something in the show, feel free to email orders@dubro.com. I see a majority of those emails, so I will try to get all and any of your questions answered for you guys. From everybody at DU-BRO, thank you for your continued support and using DU-BRO products. We appreciate you all. Joshua, the professor, Maverick, I'm sorry, Bob. We
Bob.
appreciate your knowledge tonight, and we will see you guys back here on the 1st. Same bat time, same bat channel, and happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Obviously, we won't see you guys before the holiday. It'll be right after. So, like I said, make sure you watch out for those Black Friday deals and take advantage of the November build sale. Joshua, thank you, my friend.
Thank you. And thank you all, everyone for tuning in tonight. I couldn't be more grateful. It's a wonderful time to have with you all this evening.
Love it. Thanks, guys. We'll see you on the next one. If I can find the outro.